Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the influence of geography and environment on history. Before going into the topic, let me explain the geographical features of India. On the north, we have the Himalayan ranges, below it we have the Indo-Gangetic plains, and in the middle we have the Deccan Plateau, and in the deep south we have the southern peninsula, on either side the western coastal plains and the eastern coastal plains. First, let us see the Himalayas. Himalayas are the mountainous ranges in the north spanning for nearly 2500 kilometers. Himalayan ranges have lot of perennial rivers and also passes. What is the function of these perennial rivers and passes? The perennial rivers, for example the Indus, functioned as source of water for early historic civilizations in India. Similarly, the passes also served as the roads for entry into India from Central Asia and Middle East. I will explain you in detail little later. Coming to the Indo-Gangetic plains. Indo-Gangetic plains, also known as the Aryavarta, served as the base for the emergence of first historical cities in India. These historical cities, also known as Mahajanapadas, emerged in this region because of its geography. Third, we have the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is a basaltic rock plateau and most stable land mass of India. And fourth, we have in deep south the southern peninsula, and either side of the southern peninsula we have eastern Ghats and the western Ghats. Now we will see in detail what role these physical features have played in history. Coming to the Himalayas. Himalayas and the Indus river system have played a significant role in the emergence of first Indus civilization in this region. The most ancient historic cities emerged in this region because of its geography. As we are all aware, cities developed around rivers, whether it is Egypt based on Nile river or ancient Sumerians based on the Tigris and Euphrates. The Egyptians developed around river Nile. Similarly, in Indian context, the first historic civilization, that is the Indus Valley civilization, emerged based on the Indus river system and its tributaries. Indus river has 5 tributaries, namely Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi, Sutlej and Beas. These 5 rivers played a major role in the emergence of the first historic civilization in India, that is Indus Valley civilization. Apart from the perennial rivers, the Himalayas also has passes. Through these passes came migrations, invasions and movement of goods. There are 3 historic passes in Himalayas, namely the Khyber Pass, the Bolan Pass and the Karakoram Pass. The Khyber Pass connected Peshawar with India, and the Greeks, Kushans and later day the Persians all came to India through this pass. Next comes the Bolan Pass. Bolan Pass connected Quetta with India and it interacted India with Iran and Baluchistan. Third, the Karakoram Pass. The Karakoram Pass is the ancient caravan route. It connected Silk Road with India. Okay. Thus, the Himalayan rivers and Himalayan passes played a significant role in Indian history through ages. Next comes the Indo-Gangetic plains. Indo-Gangetic plains are known for this alluvial soil which is very fertile. Because of this fertility, the agricultural societies emerged in this period around 1000 BCE. Okay. And the second factor that enabled the emergence of cities in Indo-Gangetic plain is the availability of iron. Both using this iron, the early societies cleared the forests, converted land into agricultural lands and gained agricultural surplus. These agricultural surplus enabled emergence of first cities in this region, which are known as Mahajanapadas around 600 BCE. These Mahajanapadas later led to the first historical empires, that is the Magadhan Empire. Thus, the Indo-Gangetic plains, because of its availability of iron and availability of alluvial soil, resulted in the rise of first city states in India. Those are Mahajanapadas. On the western side of India, we have the Thar Desert. Thar Desert, because of the Aravalli ranges, the monsoons could not enter this region, resulting in arid soil that resulted in the emergence of the Thar Desert. But taking advantage of this arid climate, few empires emerged in this region also, like the Rajputs, and the oasis cities like Jaisalmer, Bikaner also took advantage of this arid region and developed as major cities in medieval period. And as we are all know, the Thar Desert, which occupies major part of Rajasthan, saw the emergence of a powerful kingdoms in the name of Rajputs. Okay. And these Thar Desert also acted as a center for migration of commodities and traders. Below the Indo-Gangetic plains, if we come to the central India, we have the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is the most stable land mass in India. It is made of basaltic rock and emerged as a result of volcanic eruptions millions of years back. That is why this area is considered to be the most stable area, and that is why we do not have any earthquakes here, unlike the Himalayas. If we go to North India, we see lots of landslides in Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, Himalayan ranges because of the earthquakes. But in Deccan, we see very stable land mass here. And because of this stable land mass, we have there is stable political formations also. Apart from the stable landmass, the Deccan also has rivers like Godavari and Krishna. And the Vindhyas and Satpura ranges separated North India from the Deccan. Because of this barrier, most of the North Indian empires could not enter Deccan. Whether it is Mauryas, Guptas, Delhi Sultanates or Mughals, they all were concentrated only on North India. They could not come across Deccan because of this Vindhya and Satpura ranges and also the Narmada river. Okay. This, as a result of this Vindhya Satpura ranges and Narmada river, Deccan emerged as a strategic defense for the kingdoms here. Okay. The North Indian kingdoms could not enter Deccan because of the geography of the Deccan. As I have told you, the rugged terrain acted as natural fortifications here. The basaltic rock helped in carving out the first cave temples in Deccan. If we see the Buddhist cave temples in Maharashtra, the Ajanta, Ellora, etc., all are made out of stone, out of rock, out of Deccan rock. So, the rock formation here helped in the emergence of a distinctive architecture, which is known as Deccani architecture. Okay. Coming to southern India, below the Deccan Plateau, we have the southern peninsula, okay, covering most of the southern India, including the states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And either side of the southern peninsula, we have Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. And both these Ghats, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, are mountainous ranges which helped again in the emergence of military strategies, fortifications, formidable powers, etc. throughout the history. For example, if we take Marathas and Shivaji, they took advantage of the mountains. If we take Shivaji, he led the guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare means hiding in mountains and attacking the enemies. See, so the, Shivaji and the Marathas took advantage of the geography. Okay, the mountains helped them in surviving, in fighting against the mighty Mughals. Okay, that's my point. So, apart from these mountains, the Eastern and Western Ghats also has lots of ports. Right from Bengal to Orissa to Andhra to Tamil Nadu, we have ports like Machilipatnam, Nizampatnam, Dugarajpatnam, Krishnapatnam, Madraspatnam, Chennapatnam, Nagapatnam, etc. All these ports played a significant role in maritime trade throughout the years. For example, if you take the southern Indian empire, the Cholas built a powerful navy and controlled the whole Indian Ocean, and they also had trade relations with Southeast Asia, with Rome, with Europe, etc. Indian Ocean is almost known as Chola Lake. Okay. And if we come to this side, the western side, the Kozhikode, Calicut, Mussooris, these ports also played a significant role in maritime trade between India and Europe. Most of the Arabs came through western coast and entered India. This way, the ports on either side helped India in having a flourishing maritime trade in medieval, modern and ancient periods. If we look at the Deccan again, most of the historical kingdoms that emerged here were again based on the river systems, whether it is Godavari, Tungabhadra, Kaveri, etc. If we take the Vijayanagar Empire flourished near the Tungabhadra river. Tungabhadra river facilitated and led to the prosperity of the Vijayanagar Empire. See how we have passes in the Himalayas, similarly we have passes in the southern mountains also. For example, the Palghat Pass in the Kaveri Valley, the Malabar coast, they became very famous for the Roman trade. Okay. This way, as I have told you, the coastal regions also flourished maritime economies, because India has nearly 7,500 kilometers of coastline. Okay, and this coastline is dotted with numerous ports right from Bengal, Orissa, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat. If you take the ancient India during Indus Valley civilization, Lothal on the Gujarat coast was considered to the most important port city of that period. Later, during the medieval periods, during the Mughals, Surat emerged as the most prominent port city along with Barukacha. Okay. In modern times, with the advent of Dutch, English, Dane, French, new port cities emerged like Calcutta, like Masulipattnam, Nagapatnam, etc. All these port cities later emerged as big urban centers. My point is how geography influenced state formation and their economies. That is more important. If we take the military invasions and geography also, the northwest gateways, like as I have told you earlier, the Khyber, Bolan Pass, the Karakoram Pass, they all helped in passage of people as well as commodities. The Achaemenids, the Greeks, the Shakas, the Kushans, the Huns, the Turks, Mughals, all these people entered India through these Himalayan passes. Himalayan passes also acted as natural defenses also. The mountain ranges stopped the cool winds that come from Central Asia. As a result, the North India has a very pleasant atmosphere. Otherwise, the cold winds from Central Asia would have made the life of people of North India little difficult. And coming little down, the Thar Desert again acted as a natural defense. The Thar Desert along with Aravalli ranges stopped invasions towards North Indian plains. Okay. Third, the riverine basins and the Indus rivers also acted as successive defense moats against the advancing armies. Moats means Kandakalu antaru Telugulo. Moats acted as barriers of invading armies. See, geography not only includes rivers and mountains and land masses, geography also includes monsoons. What is this monsoon system? Monsoon is the movement of winds from one place to another. In India, we have two kinds of monsoons, northwest monsoon and southeast monsoon. Okay. Southwest monsoon, which comes from June to September, accounts for 75% of the rainfall. India receives major rainfall because of southwest monsoon. Okay. And taking advantage of this monsoon winds with seasonal winds, the navigators from Arab came to India. They used to calculate the wind, the motion of wind, the direction of wind, and they used to start sailing from Arab and used to reach India before any technology. Okay. Similarly, apart from monsoons, we have the agriculture also influenced the people's life and the empires. As you are all aware, the main revenue for any kingdom in India, right from ancient to modern, whether it is Mauryas, Guptas, later day Delhi Sultanates, Mughals, etc., everyone's the main source of revenue was agriculture, and this agriculture depended on monsoon and soil. Okay. So, this soil and monsoon rain system also influenced the history in terms of revenue, in terms of their economies. Okay. So, my point is even the crop pattern, the agriculture, all this impacted economic and political stability in India throughout the ages. It also influenced trade economy. As I have already told you, there are lots of mountain gateways, riverine arteries, caravan economies which influenced trade economy in this region. As I have already told you about the many ports that are available on both sides of a southern peninsula, which influenced maritime trade, spice routes, silk roads, etc. There are, apart from these winds, agriculture, soil, mountains, etc., there are few other features which influenced the Indian history through the ages. For example, if we take the rock formations of Deccan, here we see basaltic rock temples, rock carvings in Maharashtra, in Karnataka, in Andhra, in Telangana. Okay. Because of the availability of this basalt rock and easy chiseling of this basalt rock, major temples, big temples emerged here, like whether it is in Tanjavur or Kailashnath temple in Maharashtra, etc. So, my point is the availability of stone influenced the architecture, the availability of soil influenced the economies of the empire, the availability of passes influenced migration, the availability of soil influenced agriculture production and in turn the revenue of the empire. This way there is close relationship between geography, economy and history. Apart from these, distinct geographical features also led to the emergence of regional identities and diversities. For example, if we take linguistic diversity, India is known for multilingual, multiple languages. For example, the barriers of Vindhyas fostered distinct linguistic divides. For example, the Indo-Aryan languages of North India could not enter South India because of the Vindhyas. So, in North India we have Indo-Aryan languages and in South India we have Dravidian languages. Okay. And there is no intermixture between these two because of the Vindhya Satpura range. Because of this Vindhya Satpura ranges, political powers could not enter Deccan, language could not enter Deccan, even Deccan had a distinct food practices, culinary geography also. The agroclimatic conditions in Deccan influenced its own foodways. Okay. North India people mostly eat chapatis there. In Deccan we eat more millets, more rice here because of the agroclimatic conditions. Similarly, as I have told you, art and architecture was also influenced by geography, and the basaltic Deccan traps enabled massive rock cut caves like Ajanta, Ellora, etc., etc. This way geography influenced emergence of distinct regional identities and diversities in terms of art and architecture, in terms of food practices, in terms of languages. Thus, the geography has influenced Indian history in multiple ways. The Himalayas acted as natural barriers, also promoted movement of people, movement of culture, movement of religion, movement of commodities through its passes. The Himalayas also were land for perennial rivers, which sustained agricultural development in North India and emergence of first historical cities in northwest India, which includes the present day India and Pakistan. The Indo-Gangetic plains, on the other hand, because of its alluvial soil and the availability of iron, led to the emergence of first historical cities in North India in 600 BCE, which are known as Mahajanapadas like Magadha, Avanti, etc. etc. On the other hand, the Thar Desert led to the emergence of a powerful empire in the form of Rajputs. Okay. Rajput families took advantage of the Thar deserts, its arid climate, its non-availability of water resources, etc., and built their empires. If we take the steppe wells of Rajasthan, because of its aridity, the Rajput clans, the Rajput families dug so many steppe wells, preserving the groundwater there in India. Coming to the Deccan Plateau, again, Deccan, we have taking advantage of this fertile land with rivers like Godavari and Krishna. Numerous kingdoms emerged like Shatavahanas, Ikshvakus, Rashtrakutas, Chalukyas, Kakatiyas, Qutub Bahmanis, Imad Shahis, Barid Shahis, etc., and later even the Asafjais. All these people took advantage of the geography here and prospered because of it. In deep south, we have massive empires like Cholas, Pandyas, etc., who took advantage of the geography. The fertile soil available here and the riverine systems, and most importantly, the coasts and the ports available on these ports served, maintained, and sustained these massive empires because of its economy. This way, if we see, geography has influenced Indian history in more than one ways, not only in the emergence of kingdoms, but also in terms of its economies, in terms of cultural diversity, in terms of linguistic diversity, etc., etc. In conclusion, we can say that geography has influenced Indian history in multiple ways right from ancient, medieval, and modern times. In ancient period, we have the Mahajanapadas, the Indus Valley, the Mauryas, who took advantage of the geography and prospered. In medieval period, we have the Delhi Sultanates and the Mughals, who took advantage of the geography, built massive fortifications, established strong economies based on agriculture and the riverine irrigation systems. And in modern period, we all know the Dutch, the French, the Danes, the British, and the French all took advantage of the geography, the rivers here, the soil here, and built a massive empires. During this modern period, not only the inland trade but also maritime trade also emerged because of availability of ports on either side of the Indian peninsula. Thus, geography played a significant and constructive role in Indian history.